So this session will be on training on how to configure Biotime 8.0. And to start this, I'll be sharing my screen now. And later we'll be looking at the device, how to connect it, and everything is going to be in real time. So without much ado, let's dive in. I begin with the sharing of my screen. Okay. So what you're saying is the interface for Biotime 8.0. It's important to note that for you to use Biotime 8.0, you must have previously installed the software. And for the sake of those who are not conversant with Biotime 8.0, I'm going to be doing something exceptional. We'll be showing you how and where to download your the Biotime. So because for the sake of that, I'll share my screen now. So for those of us who are still new to this, for you to download the original version of Biotime, it's best to download from our official website, which is www.ZKTeco.com. When you go to ZKTeco.com, you will see at the down part, we have the download session. The download session or download center is where you get all ZKTeco software. In the download center, you have different categories. You have installation guide, you have data sheet, you have other products that might be of help to you. Then you have software. Under the software tab, you see ZKTimeNet and other software you need from ZKTeco. And you also have the Biotime there. And this is what you need to download if you want to download the Biotime 8.0 for your installation. Biotime 8.0 for Windows. And this is the version that you can download that will work for you very well. There are also other version of Biotime 8.0 you can download depending on your operating system. If you're using the 32 bits or if you're using the 64 bits, you can scroll down to see different version of Biotime you can download. So with that being said, once you click on it, on the Biotime download, it's going to install. And what you get when you know that you run. Permit me to do a quick search to save our time. Okay, this is it. So if you've installed the Biotime, this is how it's going to appear on your desktop. And when you run, you do the installation and every necessary stuff that comes with installing. When you're installing the software, it's going to ask for a port. It's going to ask you for a port. It's important to note that that port that is going to ask you, it's what you use to connect to your device that will be later using to configure the time attendance, which we'll see later. So once you've installed the software and set up, there's another thing you need to note. For the software to work, because it's an SQL software, it comes with a controller. Once you successfully install the Biotime software on your PC, there's another thing you need to do, and that is you can go to your search and search for controller. You see Biotime server controller. This Biotime server controller is actually what, like a backend plugin that controls the Biotime. Also note, this pop-up will be coming up every time you power on your PC, because this is like giving you an access. So you need to click yes. That has been done. You have the Biotime controller that is working. And if you notice now, you can also change your ports from here. But for you to change your ports, you need to stop this service. So once this service is stopped, you can change your port, because sometimes you might discover that maybe the initial port you chose while installing the software is not available. Maybe you're using it for other application on that PC. So when you've stopped the Biotime controller, you can change your port. You can change your port to anything you want to. You can change it to port 8080. When you change it, you check that port to be ensure it's okay. If the port is open and you can use it, you get notification here, like you see highlighted here. HTTP port 8080 is okay. Or if you want an HTTPS port, by HTTPS port, we're talking about a more secured port. HTTPS means it's using a secured connection. So for people who want an encrypted, more secured connection, HTTPS rather port is what they will go for. But you can also use both concurrently. So I can decide to say, okay, I want to use port 443 for a secured connection, while port 8080 for a non-secure connection. And you can activate both. Because I'm not using a secure connection, I'll just use the port, just HTTP. And get that notification, the status of your port, that your port is okay. If it's not okay, you get it from that port checked. Once that has been done, you start the service. Note, this Biotime controller is what controls the software. Once that service has been started, as you started that service, you can now go to your Biotime and run your Biotime. So now, with the basics being set, let's now run the Biotime and move on to the agenda for today, setting up Biotime. One thing to note is that for you to use Biotime, you need to create a username and password. The first time you launch your Biotime software, it pops up, create a username and password with your email. Please, it's very important for you to use a valid email address, because if you want to reset your password or do any change, that is where you go to. So it's very important for you to have a valid email address to set that one up. So with that being established, like what you currently have, I've already created a username and password that I use to log into my Biotime 8.0. Also, from our previous session, we mentioned that Biotime 8.0 is a web-based app, hence why it can be run with a available web-based solution like your Biotime, sorry, your Chrome, your Microsoft Edge, or any web browser you currently have available. So now let's sign in to Biotime using the username and password we've created when we launched the app. And we log into Biotime. It's important to note that Biotime login page, there are two. We have the admin login and we have the self-service login. The admin login, like it mentioned, is for administrative, those who have access, the admin access, the super admin access. While the self-service is for employees who are in the organization who want to be able to check their own attendance, log in their manual punch, apply for leave, approval, and every other thing we mentioned about when we're talking about the Biotime function. So once that has been done and achieved, let's see what other thing you can do. So this is the dashboard you get, your homepage for Biotime 8.0, right? And on your dashboard, you see a real-time monitor. By real-time monitor, we're talking about, it gives you a demographics of what your day like is for attendance records and everything shows on this dashboard. The first thing you need to do when you set up your Biotime 8.0 is to check your personnel. When you click your personnel, you see some tabs there. The first is your Biotime cloud for other organization is you create the area. So for example, let's say you have different location and you intend using Biotime in different locations, say in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, and different whatever locations you might have. You can name those locations and create them as area. For you to do that, you just go to add, click on add, and give an area name. So let me call this one for test sake, call it Garki. And if one area is superior to the other, I can also go further to say, okay, if Ikorodu is superior to Garki, I can make Ikorodu, Garki rather, a sub area to Ikorodu from this superior tab. But if it's on its own, just create and you confirm. And Garki area has been created. So for all this area created, you can add a device to it. Another thing you also want to create before adding device is position. By position, you might decide to create different positions in the company. We have the HRO manager, we have the admin officers, we have the admin executive, the admin manager, the HODs. Whatever position you have resident in that organization can be created from the position tab. Just go there, like the same thing with your area. You click on add, and you add your position accordingly. And you can also make it superior. So the HOD, head of department, is highest in the department. You can create another manager as another layer, then executive and officers and assistants, just different cadre of position. You can also create that by virtue of hierarchy. That can also be done on the position. Then still on that, you can create on the organization is the department. Departments you might have in a typical work settings, you might have people in different departments, HR departments and all that, account departments, and you can also have sub-departments. For example, the admin department can be a sub under the HR department, and you can also create that and do that from the add. When you create the department, you create the one that should be superior. So BDM can be overall to HRO, depending on how you want it to be aligned. So once that has been done, you're good to go. Everything has been set. The next thing you need to do now is to go to device. Device shows you if you have any device connected or not. But it's always advised that before you set a device, you first of all go to your device configuration setting. Under your device configuration setting, that is how you set what happens to your device. You have registration device. It is best if you want the current data that has been captured on this device to be synchronized to your software, it is best to toggle this registration device as on. Then allow upload card, toggle it on. Allow upload name, toggle it on. Allow name download, toggle it on. Allow auto add, you toggle it on. Then under data sync mode, make sure it's real time. Then you set your time zone from here. Since we are using the +1 time zone, ensure that it's properly set, because this would sync with the device. This software is going to control the timing on the device. So it's very important you get your time zone right. Else you find people complaining that the clocking machine is deducting maybe 10 minutes or wrong timing for them. It's very important. Then you set your push rates, how frequent you want data to be pushed from the software to the device. This is where you set it under the device tab. Then you go to configuration. Once you've gotten this properly set, you click on submit. That has been successfully done. Still on that, you have other settings here. can set your biophoto approval policies. Biophoto is just a way of saying for facial recognition device, the device syncs the photo. Every time someone captures on the device, it syncs the photo and it can give you a snapshot of who captured on that device, registered or not. If you want to approve the photo, this is where you configure that. Then still under device configuration, you have your data retention setting, how long you want data to be retained on the devices. So with that being said and done, we go back to the device now. So the device, how do we now add the device? This is what we are here for. That for you to add a device, Biotime is installed. And how do you get that? For you to get the PC IP, we need to do something, check that. And for you to check the PC IP of the IP, the PC of the IP rather of the PC you're using, there is something you should do, and that would be going to your PC, go to the search bar of your PC, depending on the Windows you're using. When you go to the search bar, just type command or CMD. You get a command prompt, right? Click on the command prompt. It gives you a command tab. On that command tab, input IP config, enter. It's going to give you all the IP configuration for your existing network. So the IP configuration for your existing network is going to come up. So currently, the IP config I'm using for my configuration is this. Note this IP. Depending on what you're using, you're connected via LAN, internet cable, it's going to come under the internet adapter IP. But because I'm connected wirelessly to my network and the device that we have would also be connecting it wirelessly. But if you're connecting this device using a LAN cable, what you should be looking out for would be the internet adapter, not the wireless adapter. But since we are connecting the device wirelessly, we are going to be using the wireless LAN for that connectivity. So you note that IP address, which in this case is this wireless LAN I'll be connecting my device to. This is the IP. So since we've noted that IP, we registered the IP. Now we go to our device now. We're moving over to the device to be able to do that. Please give me a minute. I'll be swapping my camera now. Okay. Okay. So that you will get a better view, I have tried to so this is the device we're using. Okay, so the device is booting up. So on the device, which is this one, then your menu displays. And in your menu, you put enter communication. Locate where you have your cloud server, which is the last. Last. Enter. Now, note that IP that we talked about and the port. Why it's setting the port? Because I use for my Biotime cloud, a Biotime 8.0 is port 80. So I go to port 80. Then confirm. And now set the IP, which is the same IP that we saw on the PC. You put the IP here. If you recall, the IP we are setting now is 192.168.3.76. 192.168.3.76. So this is the IP of the PC that the Biotime is currently installed on. Once that has been done, we confirm. So now we've configured the IP from the PC. So once this has been done, ensure that you're connected to the same network using TCP IP, LAN, or whatever network. Ensure you're connected to the same network that your PC is connected to. So we've done the configuration from the PC's perspective. So now we are going to be moving to the normal configuration. So we've done the configuration from the device side. And the question has remained, how do we make it discoverable on the software? So the way to do that is to ensure that your PC, your device is connected. So I'll need to connect the device now to the network that I'm currently connected. I go to communications, wireless network. So now, if you notice, the device is auto-discovered by the software. And for you to be able to use the device, you need to add it to an area. Since the software has automatically detected this device that is connected to the same network wired using the wireless or wired protocol. So you click on it and add the device to an area, and we add to guard key, set all your protocols right, ensure it's a restriction device. Please note that if you're not making it a restriction device, it means the data already captured on the device will not sync with your software. So it's best to make it a restriction device. That being done, attendance device, yes, real time, and confirm. Device is added. So let's rename it as KF160. Save. So now our device is added. This is how you add and configure a device. So we notice other devices are also added, but in this case, I want to synchronize all the data, all the employee details that has been previously captured on this device to the software. So what I need to do is just check the device I want to synchronize and go to device menu. Go to device menu, and what you do is just you ensure that your device is sync. Upload user data, sync data to device. That's under the data transfer. You click on it. What do you want to sync? Is it employee you want to sync? Is it fingerprint you want to sync? Is it palm you want to sync? Is it biophoto or face? Whatever it is you want to sync, you tick and confirm. And everything becomes synced to the device. So notice now, because the device has been connected, the error sign I was showing at this place is no longer appearing because it's now connected to your Biotime cloud. So this is just a simple hands-on process on how to configure Biotime cloud and how to add a device to your Biotime cloud. Now we've added a device. How do you configure attendance to be sure that every time you clock in, is able to synchronize with your software? That is done from the attendance module. Under the attendance module of Biotime 8.0, you have several features available at your disposal. The first is you have the global setup, which includes the rule, take code, and shift. For example, with the rule, we have global rule, we have departmental rule, we have group rule. You can set your rules accordingly based on your the preference of your client. Under global rule, you make your weekends. First weekend is Saturday, second weekend is Sunday. The week starts on Monday. The weekend punch interval is how often can you reclock on a device. You can decide to set it from here or set it from the device. The choice is yours. Group rule is you can decide to set setting rule to apply to setting group. And now we go to shifts. For you to use shift, the first thing you need to do is to set a timetable. A timetable is just giving you a schedule of how people that will be clocking in want to work. You can add different timetables. You can have several timetables created. Like what you see here, these are different timetables that have been previously created. So with this timetable, what you just need to do is you have different time for you to sign in and sign out. So for example, let's check another timetable, add a normal timetable. So this is what you get. Let's call this one test. Test 2. Okay. I set check-in time to be, say, 8. Check-in starts from 6 o'clock. People can start checking in because, you know, in Lagos, we usually come to work earlier than other places. If you want to apply break, you can also set that from here. Checkout time, 1800, that's about 6 o'clock. Or let's put 5, that's 1700. Checkout start by same time, 1700. Checkout end by as far as you can get. Confirm. How many days do you want this timetable to apply? So it's for regular shift, that includes 5.0 days, Monday to Friday. That has been done. You go to on schedule setting, you go to overtime rule setting if you want to set overtime, or you go to rule setting. This rule setting is very important. Is clocking required? Yes, because is clock out required? Yes, to clock as clocking time. But you want to give every staff clocking in 15 minutes grace. So this is where you set it. Set 15 minutes as the allow late-in time. If you want people to also give people a leeway, 15 minutes grace for clock out means you can clock out 15 minutes earlier if you want to set that. I know most companies wouldn't set that, so it's best to leave here at 0. Punch state base, no. Day change time, everything seems fine. When that has been done, you click confirm. And this is our test shift we just created. So this is a timetable. The next thing is to assign the timetable to a shift. Go here, click on add on your timetable, and let's call this timetable test timetable. And you notice on the timetable now, you can see different shifts we've created. So for example, now I want to apply test shift to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Test shift has been applied to these days. The cycle is 1 week. So we've applied this test shift to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Since we're not doing overtime rule, we skip that and we save. So test shift has been successfully saved. The next thing we need to do now is to schedule this shift, which is under the schedule tab. You can schedule the shift at department level, at group level, at employee level. So let's use by employee level. And I can add people to this. So I want to assign this shift to these employees. So I click on the employees. Let's say for all. And now the shift I want to assign to them is the test shift. That I choose the dates I want to start taking effect. And I can try to choose from Monday till future dates. Till forever. And I confirm. Now, I apply. So this shift has been applied to all employees on this. So every time they clock in, it's going to come in here. So this is just a simple settings of how to configure your device. Every other thing you need about the software, about it's under your configuration, system settings. That's where you set your logo, how it appears, your email settings. So your email settings is a setting that allows you to set up your email using your mail server such that anytime there's a notification, it prompts and sends you notification via email. You need to set your email server setting correct here before you get prompted. If a staff comes in late or if someone is approved for leave, you get an email. Every attendance transaction, you get a notification for it if you set your settings here correct. You can also set your punch setting state and your week setting state from this device setting. So this is just a quick run through of how to configure Biotime 8.0. There's a whole lot you can do with this. So this session is just going to be a brief one on a simple basic on how to add device, how to configure it. And this is what today's session aims to achieve. In subsequent session, we're going to be looking at how to set different commands, how to pull reports. and a whole lot you do with your time attendance. So I believe this session has been helpful. And at this point, we'll take a quick question and answer from participants. So, question, please. Anybody that has a question in view of what we've done so far?